World War III looms as BRIC nations try to go back to the gold standard. Okay, essentially, all the BRIC nations, that's like China, Russia, India, a bunch of other countries, are trying to go back to the gold standard. The problem with that, this will hurt the U.S. currency. The reason is the U.S. doesn't make anything anymore. We really don't. We really don't make anything anymore. So how do we get our money? How do we have our power and stuff? The way we have it is we trade American dollars. Essentially, we have all the guns, we have all the ammunitions, we have all the weapons. We have the most powerful military on earth. We could destroy any country we wanted to, technically, right now. Essentially, we go around bullying other countries to accept our dollar bill. And when we accept our dollar, that's basically what makes the currency good. That's what makes your way of living pretty good. That's why you have everything you have in your house, why you have everything, why you have the type of wealth you have. Because think about it, no other country on the earth has that. The reason we have the wealth is because our currency means something. Well, if they go back to gold standard, our currency doesn't mean anything. It becomes worthless overnight. So imagine a bunch of rich people in other countries trying to get their money and then suddenly realizing their money is worthless. They're going to be mad. Well, the United States ain't going to take that line down, because this would mean this is the fall of our nation. This is the fall of the United States. And, we got a weak president. Biden's so weak, he ain't going to do anything. He's going to invade, China's going to invade Taiwan. Russia already invaded Ukraine. We're talking about having Finland and Sweden join NATO, and Russia always threatened if they join NATO because they're on the border of Russia that he would nuke them. It's all getting crazy and everything, and I think it's inevitable. Ukraine's now mad because we won't let them in NATO at the time, because Biden already said they won't let them in NATO until after the war is over. So things are getting crazy, and things are going to get more crazy. We are literally sending cluster bombs to Russia now, which a year ago the Biden administration said that was a war crime, and now we're willing to do that. So we're willing to commit what the Biden administration already called a war crime to begin with. That is a pretty bad thing. We're all going, I don't see how any way out of this, people. We're going to war. It's going to happen. World War III is in the future. And some people are even talking about there might not be an election if a war breaks out. Well, if they try to use emergency power, or Biden tries to stay in power, even during a war, this country is going to fall apart in 2 seconds. We're already on the board of civil war. We have two sides that just hate each other's guts and all this kind of stuff. I think it was the First World War, yeah. That's when the Western Revolution happened, and then after the Western Revolution, they had their own civil war. So it's possible that we could have a civil war and World War III at the same time. It's not going to be pretty either. Thousands of people are going to die. We got nukes. We got a bunch of stuff. And it's not just the nukes that we got to worry about, because why worry about technology that was 50 years old? The type of technology that we have and the type of things that we can be used in war are going to be insane. Just the technology we have, you think that things are going to get bad. You don't know how bad things are going to get, dude. The type of technology, the type of technical weapons are going to be unlike anything we've ever seen before. It's going to be epic. It's going to be bad. It's going to be millions dead. Like I said, I think we're facing down the barrel of World War III. Do you really think the U.S. wants their currency to fall? We right now are technically the strongest country on earth, but because of Afghanistan, because of the weakness of Biden, and because of all this other stuff, our country doesn't look as strong as it used to be. We have a dementia president in office. You have people in school talking about just crazy stuff that we don't need to be learning. They're not teaching history, they're not teaching science, they're not teaching the arts, they're not teaching anything. They're teaching leftist ideology. The whole philosophy, you're going to own nothing and be happy. The way our technology, people aren't meant to live the way we're living now. We really aren't. All this technology that we have around us, it's still brand new. And that may be what's causing a lot of it. Think about it. Back in the 90s, or even the 80s, or even back 100 years ago, you didn't have the internet. You didn't have the same polarization that we have now. A lot of that is due to the internet. A lot of that is due to the fact that we can stay connected. Then you have the AI technology and all that kind of stuff. Things are getting crazy, man. Nowadays, you can literally make anybody say anything that you want. And it's just insane what you can make people say. And that's going to lead somewhere bad. I mean, it's already leading somewhere bad. I think we're witnessing probably the end of maybe not the end of America, but at least the American empire. And that may be a good thing because, we could go back to being a smaller country and being like the type of country we were beforehand. I mean, the whole reason I think that we started expanding the way we did is because of what was going on in the war. We tried to, before World War II, we tried to stay isolationist and all that kind of stuff. And then we got the Nazis and Japan rising, and they were major threats that we were put down. But then after that, we had basically tried to make a unified world, but we couldn't. And Russia became our enemy, and then we started expanding NATO so we could fight the communists. And now now the Soviet Union doesn't exist no more. And now we're expanding NATO for whatever reason. We don't even have to around Western territory. Imagine you're Vladimir Putin right now, and your enemies are essentially expanding its borders and to territories that are right next to yours. Like literally, we're now adding Finland and Sweden into it, and they always said if they join NATO, he would nuke them. Like he literally said that. I don't know if he's serious or not because he's been throwing around the nuclear weapon war all the time, but I think he's serious. Like I think that we're gonna see some type of nuclear escalation at some point. I mean, we're literally sending cluster bombs now to Ukraine, and the Biden administration already said that was a war crime, and now we're openly sending the Ukrainians cluster bombs, which was already constituted as a war crime. That's where we are, guys. Like literally, you're here witnessing the fall of something. I don't know if it's the American Empire or if it's America altogether or what, but we're about to witness something bad. And I have a feeling in a few years, we're going to see just everything come crashing down. Our economy, our way of life, everything is going to be settled in a matter of moments. And when that moment's coming, I don't know, but could happen in 2026, could happen in 2028. We're headed to the fourth 20 pretty fast. I have a feeling it's going to happen during the Biden administration. The reason I say that is because China has to take Taiwan. Like they just have to take Taiwan. There is no other way. Our microchips are all made in Taiwan. Now we're getting them moved to the United States, but that's going to take a few years. And if they don't do it now, it's going to be too late because we're going to move our factory and all of our microchips to here in the United States, and we'll probably be okay. I mean, China might end up taking Taiwan, but by that point, Taiwan won't matter to us anymore as much as it does now. So they have to take it now, because if they don't have access to the microchips, which is what's in everything. And think about it. If they have, like your TVs, your cell phones, everything, if they have those microchips, there is not going to be no war. That's why Taiwan is so important. So how do you deal with that? You try to defend Taiwan as much as possible, get those factories out of there as quickly as possible. But even then, it takes a few years. I mean, they're talking about moving the factory by 2027, but you got to move the workers. You got to move all the people that know how to do it. Then you got to actually build the factory. And then you got to get to the point where the microchips are made. And then you got to produce them and ship them out. It takes a lot of years for those things to happen. I mean, we're talking about moving the factory in 2026, but most likely the factory won't actually become profitable or even productive until at least 2029 or 2030. So, I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. Like for now, Taiwan's a very key important to the United States and to China and to the rest of the world too. I mean, we got silicon chips made in other places, but I think Taiwan is the biggest producer in the world. So if China takes Taiwan, yeah, like it's going to be bad. We could become a third world country overnight. I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen that could make us a third world country. Them going back to a gold standard, or back to a gold standard, will make this a third world country overnight. And our way of life would change dramatically. And Americans aren't going to take that because we had it so good for so long. And Tim Pool always talks about this. Go out, buy a farm, make chickens, sit like that, start trying to produce your own stuff, you might want to try to do that, because things are going to get bad. People are going to get mortared. People are going to be killed. Things are going to get extremely, extremely bad. And it's probably going to happen within the next few years. And people are going to be shocked with how bad things are going to be.